Robin, Ashley, Giselle, Mia, no. Just no. Candace, gloves off. Whatever she says from this point on is well deserved. I'll back you 1,000%. Real Housewives of Potomac, the episode was insanity. It was ridiculous. It was petty. It was vindictive. It was everything ugly and mean spirited about female relationships. Well, let's talk about it. Now, great editing. The scene opens up with Ashley arriving to Candace's home. Again, just optics. Candace's home is absolutely gorgeous. Ashley, I'm sure, is in a lovely home right now, but when this episode filmed, she was still stuck in that, tiny little penthouse with Michael Darby. And now she's seeing Candace's luxurious, spacious space, and I promise you, I think Ashley has always been jealous of Candace's family, the pedigree that she comes from. I mean, she's, upper class. Her parents are doctors. Her stepfather is a doctor as well. And meanwhile, Ashley has struggled and had to marry for money. I think she's always been envious of Candace and thought that, oh, well, someone that looks like me should have all of these advantages. I should not have had to marry someone 29 years older to just have money in life. And that's what she had to do. And Candace never had to sleep with men for money. She, again, was able to marry for love. And this is why she rides so hard for her husband, because she truly loves Chris. She chose Chris. She chose Chris without ulterior motives. She did not choose him for money or status. She chose Chris because this is the man she wanted to spend her life with. So when these heifers, I'm sorry, get ahead of myself, come at her marriage later and try to go after one of the show's real marriages, that I have a problem with that. But again, the show starts off very hopeful. They are the friendship that should have been. If Ashley were just a decent person, they would have made a bomb little friendship. I mean, they're both young, attractive, from the pageant circle, and their rapport when they're not arguing with one another was really, really nice to watch. They gossip. They talk about how gossip spreads fast in Potomac, and then, of course, they're talking about the word getting out about Ashley's divorce or separation from Michael Darby, and Candace is questioning her and asking her, how does this work? You guys are separated, but you're still in the same home. She's like, yes, but we can't have sex. We can't share a marital bed, but because we have children together, we can stay in the same home and technically be considered separated. And she was like, okay, but, because gossip travels fast in Potomac, word on the street is, people were blowing up my phone with word that you were seen out with a hockey player. And this was such a cute moment. You saw Ashley's face and she's like, really? Really? And then she falls on the floor and giggles. And Candace is laughing. They're drinking wine. Again, it's the friendship that could have been if Ashley was not so stuck up Giselle's butt. And really, Candace addressed that a little earlier when they were talking about Giselle and her shenanigans and things that, that she said about Chris, and she called Giselle to Ashley, that's your friend. And Ashley says, yeah, she has some of my secrets as well. And I thought, is this why you have such an allegiance to her and you're willing to go out there and do her bidding? I mean, this is not new for Ashley to go out and do Giselle's bidding. This is, we've seen this in previous seasons. It's almost like they hazed Ashley, made Ashley feel unworthy, and then let her into the green-eyed monster clique. If she would just do their bidding, including torturing Karen or just being part of their alliance anytime they go after someone. I don't like it. I know they didn't really do that with Monique, but the first couple of seasons, Ashley was kind of their do girl, and I feel like she feels inferior to both Robin and Giselle. Nonetheless, they talk about gossip in Potomac, and Ashley was like, oh yeah, people are always calling me too, and they have stories. I've heard, a lot of stories about about Karen. And Candace chimes in and goes, oh, well, Karen thinks just because she travels across town and, has her dinners out with a young man, and then they flash back to the clip of Charisse bringing up Mr. Blue Eyes. I think Karen is allegedly having an affair with a white man. Again, I don't know if there's any truth to this or not. It's been brought up many times in the past, but we're not sure if this is just Charisse planting gossip. But again, that's to be seen. I will say that Karen really avoids Charisse like the plague. I hope she really stands firm and, faces her down in the next few episodes to come. So, I mean, really, this is all that they talk about. It was a really cute moment. I believe it was the calm before the storm in the relationship that was Ashley and Candace. Very, very short-lived. It was 2 seconds. Gone. Then we move over to Mia and G. Any scene with Mia and G, I kind of zone out. Sorry. I just don't find her interesting on her own. I'm actually very surprised they gave her a second season and not a Scala. I'd be more interested in seeing a Scala's very age-appropriate relationship, because she and her husband are the representation of what Black love should look like, not Mia trapping this old man for his money, which she kind of admitted to doing. But she was complaining of just about how busy they were. They were opening up their 25th clinic, and they show her just reorganizing some things in the office. I'm not sure how involved she truly is in the business, or if this is just, the cameras coming in to get some clips of her just so she can have some footage. I'm looking to learn more about how her family is cutting she and G out of that business, because I think initially she made it seem like these were businesses that G owned on his own, and it turns out that G owns these joint chiropractic clinics with relatives. So it's not all G's money. It's not all G's endeavors. It's a joint effort for the joint chiropractic. Yeah, don't judge. Okay. G asked Mia about her health. And in that moment, Mia, for someone who lies so much, girl, you better start remembering your lies. She blanks out and she says, what about it? And he just looks at her like, girl, get in character. Come on, And she's like, oh, they got to run some more tests on some lumps and things and bumps and things. But it's not cancerous, so I'm not sure what the testing is for. Yeah, I don't get it. But nonetheless, she wants to relax. And she wants to take the girls, the cast, on a trip to Miami, a fun, let your hair down Miami trip. And she was asking G, how far can she go? How far is too far? How much fun can she have? And then she tells us in a confessional that this is how she landed G 14 years ago, by hooking up with him in public on a beach while he was married. So, yeah. Then she showed some pictures of she and Jacqueline, like, back in their heyday, probably scamming men for money, and then she landed a whale. Mia, again, something about Mia irks my spirit. Please, please, please let this be her last season. I just don't see it for her. She adds absolutely nothing to any story, and she brings really nothing to the table. Speaking of someone else who brings nothing to the table but has managed to, successfully be a part of this show since day one, we get to Gizelle and her kids. Again, Gizelle's girls, the twins, Grace, are the best part of Gizelle. They are on their way to get manis and petties. And Gizelle's country. Listen, I don't care as highfalutin or however bougie Gizelle tries to act. Gizelle is country, and she's just country. She's country and she's a little tacky. She sits down the girls are having manis. Gizelle's having a pedicure, so she sits down in the nice vibrating seat, and the lady, puts the towel down where Gizelle's going to prop her feet while, she's filing and painting and everything to her toenails. She picks up the white cloth and she blots her face and says, oh, my makeup was shiny. Her daughter looks at her, one of the twins, and goes, oh, so nasty. And you saw just those moments of like, crap, did they catch that on camera? Yeah, girl, they caught it on camera. They aired it. That was gross. Again, Gizelle is just really not as poised and perfect as she wants everyone to see her as. I mean, again, it shows in her fashions. It shows in her home decor. She's just not that girl. She's not the grande dame. She's just a country bumpkin who married well, who really rode her looks to a marriage with a man who became very prominent in the churches or in the church. Then we move on. Oh, anyway, sorry. They're talking about the twins' sweet 16th birthday, yada, yada, yada. Gizelle's planning it. She can't believe how much the girls have grown. She wants this to be a big bash. And she talks about her husband, her ex-husband, I should say, being there in attendance and they're co-parenting. And she wishes or hopes that Ashley and Michael are able to co-parent as well as she and Jamal have been able to do. Scene. Again, really adds nothing. It's a throwaway scene. It's great to see the girls. But aside from Sherman and Jamal, I mean, this is season 7. I mean, for 5 seasons, Gizelle's storylines have really been inserting herself into other people's issues, or more so creating issues in other people's lives that she can then just kind of pound away on. So we don't pay attention to what's going on in her life or what's not going on in her life. We move on to Robin. Robin, I don't like the sew-in. The hair, I wish Robin would go back to a short blonde pixie cut. I think that worked really, really well on her. Robin has a very masculine energy. And this hair is just a no for me. I think she believes that the longer hair is going to make her softer. And it doesn't, because she already has more a hardened kind of persona, hardened edge. And she's, again, like a volleyball, basketball girl. She's just doesn't have like a sway. She's not very feminine, and that is totally okay. I actually love that. I vibe with that. I think that's really cool. But the hair is a no. So we see Robin. Robin visits a family law attorney to discuss a prenup for the wedding that's never going to happen. We got to stop pretending at this point. But great scene, I guess. And she's asking about a prenup and if she can put a clause in the prenup for infidelity. The family attorney asks her, why is that? Has there been infidelity in the past? And she says, yes, that was actually the reason for their divorce. So it was not her losing Juan's fortune. It was Juan cheating after she lost his money. And now she wants to protect her money. Listen, do your thing. I'm actually not even mad at you. You should always protect yourself, because as wishy-washy and up and down as their relationship is, or as unreal as it looks, part of me wonders if they will get married just so she can keep her position on this show. That he's like, fine, I'll get married on paper for you so you can keep your job, which ultimately means that when she either A, loses said job, or her kids are, out of the house, Juan's gone. And she's not stupid. She probably knows that. I think the kids are keeping Juan tethered to that home and that family structure that they've always had. So once he leaves, she needs to protect the money that she's made these last few years on Potomac, and through her hat line and through the podcast that they have a deal for. So again, not mad at that. Still don't like you right now, Robin, but I'm not mad at you protecting your money. You should totally do that. We then get to a really ridiculous scene of Karen, Wendy, and Ashley outside. I want to know what the temperature was. I don't think they put that on the screen, but it looked cold. Like everyone around them is bundled up. They're the only fools out there picking tulips. It sounds like a fun thing to do on a really beautiful day, if it was 70 degrees or even 65 degrees, but they look cold and it was windy, and no one had coats on. So they're out there freezing, trying to pick tulips. So kudos to them. Ashley told Karen about Michael's snip, and Karen asked Ashley how she feels about that. Ashley flipped the script from the last episode. This episode, she could give two shits about Michael getting a vasectomy. Last episode, she was all sad, like, oh, I won't have any more kids with Michael. Ashley, make up your mind. A, are you really even getting a divorce? B, are you even sad about you gotta pick a character. You gotta pick a character and stick with it. So she talks about, the story leak and getting out to the press and how Michael's responding to that. And he's been really short with her. He hasn't, he'll call and talk to the kids and then he'll hang up instantly. He doesn't really want to talk to Ashley, probably because Michael Darby knows that Ashley is the one who leaked that to the press. I mean, don't you think? It benefits her because she's looking like an angel. It's like, oh, because Michael's getting railroaded in the media. She looks like an angel. So, if she had everything to benefit from this. So I would not put it past Ashley to have let that story leak out or planted that story to the right or given that story to the right person and then they leaked it for her. Would not put that past her. So Wendy's talking to the girls and she's talking about coming together and, kind of being, building new relationships and getting past old issues. And she wants to have this burn session. And Ashley tells Wendy how she can be condescending sometimes, and that's something she needs to own. And that's really going to be the purpose for the burn sessions, for people to kind of own their flaws and own their issues, stand in it. And she's going to send everyone invitations. And Ashley, again, like the good little lackey she is, comes out of her mouth and says, well, don't you think you owe it to Gizelle and Robin to send them a separate invitation than everyone else, kind of explaining yourself and where you're coming from and how you want them to attend? Wendy was like, no, they're going to get the same invitation that everyone else gets. Yes, exactly. We will not grovel at these heifers' feet. We will not kiss the ring. Because you guys swear Gizelle's like your mafia boss or something. But nonetheless, we then get over to a really fun scene with Candace, her sister, and Chris. I'm sorry. I love all their scenes together when they're at home. They're not arguing and they're just laid back and they're chilling and they're cool. I love it. Her sister goes and fixes them a glass of wine. She's like, shoot, I can't drink wine myself because I drank too much wine. And, now her body has to get back normal again. I think she was having some migraines from all the wine that she was drinking. So she's like, I'll have tea. And I love it because she has her under eye mask on and she's wearing the cutest loungewear. I need to go Google it and find it. It was giving me very Olivia Pope vibes. But they sit down and they talk, and Candace has so much to celebrate. She's talking about remixing a few of her songs on the re-release of her album, and that Trina has sent the contract back in to be a part of one of her tracks, and that's huge. And Trina's a really cool rapper known for doing things like that, but her sister, bless her heart, again, she's younger, different generation. Who's Trina? Who's Trina? Come on now. Just Google her. Just Google Trina. I'm not even going to start rapping because in my mind, I have certain songs flowing through my head right now. But I love Trina. And I think it's really cool that she's going to do, she's going to work with Candace. And Candace said that in the contract, it even stated that she signed on to do a music video with Candace. That's going to be so hot. Just pull over that too fat. Come on now. Because you don't know Dan. Sorry. I just love those days. That was me. That was music we listened to in college. So, yeah, Trina's awesome. Sister's probably too young to know her, but she probably does know her now. But that's going to be a hot video. I can't wait for that to come out. Again, love Candace's music endeavors. Meanwhile, Candace is sitting there and she gets the invitation from Wendy about via message about the burn session. And Candace is like, burn session? You mean burn some edges? Exactly. These are women with truly deeply rooted issues with one another. Let's sit them all together in a room with wine and see what happens. What could go wrong? It's going to make for great TV. So because the winery the vineyard that they're going to is about 2 hours away, Wendy rents shuttles for everyone, or a little caravan, I don't know, like a bus for them, a party bus, it looked like, for the ladies. She herself did not want to be on the party bus, but she couldn't go alone, so she needed someone to ride with her in the car to get there first. She chose Ashley. Wendy, what are you trying to do? I don't like this friendship that you're trying to form with Ashley. I need for you to take it back 2 seasons ago when you were reading Ashley for filth. And I didn't like that, but it's fine. It's fine. She's trying to build, she needs to make those new friendships, those new connections. I get it. Or because people are trying to ice her out for this show. So she needs more friends than just Candace and Karen. So she's Ashley ride with her. She didn't want to ride with other girls because she did not want the argument to take place inside of the party bus. The discussion needs to take place in a more controlled environment at the vineyard. So, okay. They get there and it's hilarious. Poor Candace has PTSD. Why, of all places, did Wendy choose this place? So, these wild beasts cannot be, contained, at a place like this. And we flash back to Monique yelling and the fight and all the drama from season 5 that everyone just wants to forget. We then get to see everyone sits down. There are no assigned seats, but naturally, Gizelle and Robin are side by side. On the other side of the table, you have Karen and Candace and Mia, and Wendy's at the head of the table. So they ask Ashley how she's feeling about everything, about the memes and all the bad press about Michael. And Gizelle says, I understand what you're going through. This isn't new territory for me. I get what you're going through. It's really difficult when everyone thinks your husband's a creep. And this is the father of your children. I mean, Gizelle knows that Jamal Bryant went through it when he had his big scandal and cheating scandal, and now Michael's going through it. And so there's that. We then start the session. Wendy volunteers to go first. So what she wants everyone to do is to take a piece of paper. And on that piece of paper, when we go through each person, to write down an affirmation for that person or something that you can see that person maybe could change or maybe doesn't know about themselves. It could be negative or it could be something positive. So we start with Wendy. She goes to Ashley first. Ashley tells her, hey, you could be kind of standoffish sometimes. You have a wall up, but I see you trying to relate to other people more, build that relationship with other people more, and I see your wall coming down. And Wendy takes that in like, oh, thank you for noticing. Thank you, new friend. Don't buy it. Don't buy it. You better remember who was part of that rumors about your husband last year, who, kind of got that started. Who stopped breastfeeding to come get the party started. Then we go to Candace. Candace like, I didn't need to write anything down. You're my girl. You're my friend. And, you have a wall up. I recognize it because I have a wall up. I love where you've come and see how far you've come. But really, at the end of the day, don't forget, fuck bitches, get money. And they were like, yes, girl, I know it. And then Candace sits down. That, again, the only true friendship I really believe at the table. Not just an alliance, but just a true respect for one another. When they go to Karen, Karen's like, I'm not standing up for this, but she acknowledges how far Wendy has come and, how they hope to, she hopes to build their friendship in the future. We get to Mia. Mia was like, well, I have something negative to say. Of course you do, girl. Of course you do. And she goes on to just say how she was really short with her and condescending, and Wendy received it. She burned it. Moving on to Robin. And here we go. Robin says, we are like oil and water. We just don't mix. And that's that. And Wendy was fine. Wendy was like, well, okay. Took a piece of paper. I'm like, okay, I received that. Then Gizelle has to chime in, get the party started. And then Wendy was like, well, I don't know what you guys want me to say right now. Well, you need to accept what she's saying to you. She's like, okay. She said, we're like vinegar and oil. And they're like, no, like oil and water. Girl, vinegar and oil make a salad dressing. Nice. Bless her heart. Wendy does not cook, I believe. So this is, Wendy was like, well, she didn't write anything on this paper. And Giselle's like, honey, nobody's going to sit here and write a soliloquy, a sermon on this piece of paper. And then Robin chimes in, was like, you made it seem like I was aggressive and trying to fight you like I'm some kind of thug. And it flashes back to the TikTok dance party, sexy dance party. And Wendy was talking, and she was talking about her encounter that she and Robin had, and how Robin got out of her seat and had to be restrained to get away from her. And Robin's like, you make me seem like I'm some type of thug. I did not have to, nobody had to restrain me or put their hands on me. And she was very adamant. And Wendy was like, well, you have your truth and I have my truth. And Robin's like, no, because your truth is a lie. So she gets her phone out and she calls Charisse, who was there. And Charisse, at this party at such and such, did you have to put one finger on me to hold me back from Wendy? And Charisse, as feed footage rolls, shows Charisse not only putting one finger on her, but standing up and putting her whole body and two hands on Robin to sit back down after Robin got up and started to move towards Wendy. Robin. And then Charisse, girl, you want your spot back on this show so badly. And Charisse says, no, I didn't. And then Robin gets up and was like, how she's been treated horrible. She goes full Karen mode. Horrible. I don't give an F. And she stands up and she leaves and she marches back to the party bus where she takes off her boots because she doesn't like walking in those shoes. She wants her Timberlands on. Girl, I bet you do. And she threw a whole full Karen tantrum and everyone's just sitting there. And Giselle tries to chime in and explain her point, and Giselle's still yelling, and Karen just points out, like, listen, all of the screaming and yelling was coming from that side of the table. That side of the table. So then Ashley opens up her large mouth and purses her lips and says, well, Candace, I have something I want to say to you. My friend said that at the spring fling that Chris was flirting with her or got too close to her at the bar and was, trying to hit on her at the bar, at the party. And, Candace pauses. You see she's taking this in for a minute. Like, is this how this is going to go down? Yeah, girl, this is how this is about to go down. She says to her, why are you telling me this here now? Why are you telling me in front of all the girls? Because when I had something to say to you about Michael Darby and his indiscretions, I took you to the side. You were just at my house. And there's stupid Ashley in that smirk. Oh, well, I'm just finding it out. You're just finding this out from the spring fling party that this happened. I highly doubt it. But she's just finding this out. And, Candace was like, I don't believe it. It didn't happen. It's not true. And Ashley chimes in and she just starts to lay in on Chris and says, well, even Mia said he was staring at her too. And Mia's like, well, I did say he was staring at me, but it wasn't sexually. And, Candace turns her head, whips her head back around, and Ashley had the audacity to look at her and say, it doesn't feel so good now, does it? It's like when the pendulum swings the other way, and Candace goes, there it is. There it is, you vindictive bitch. Because she knew exactly at this moment what Ashley was doing. And they kind of argue back and forth. Candace reminds her that all the things about Michael Darby were true. They were, facts. These are not stories that were just made up. They were photos and evidence against Michael Darby for all of his indiscretions. And Ashley tells Candace, well, if you just want to ignore it and stay with him, just say that. And Candace is like, girl, you would know. And that's kind of where it ends. You have the ladies just listening to the two of them argue back and forth, like making faces, all shocked. And Ashley, all I have to say is you're just utter trash. You really are. You made this girl once again think you were her friend. She let her guard down. And as Candace called you in the confessional, you and your bulbous forehead made her think, let her guard down. You caught her off guard again. I don't think you will ever have another chance with her. And you know how Candace's mouth is, and you know you're not as quick-witted as her. So when she lays into you, when she goes low, when she talks about your mama, when she talks about your husband, when she talks about your kids, when she talks about the fact that you're basically a high-class call girl who got a ring, don't say a thing. Take it, because you put her there. She's been kind, fun-loving Candace, and she's been trying to be nice this season instead of everyone's way. And you guys want so badly to get a moment from her so you can get her off of this show that you would stoop to such a low level and go after her very real marriage, not the marriage that she has for money, her very real loving marriage. And I just find that despicable. So whatever she says to you, whatever she says to Gizelle, whatever she says to Mia, it is warranted at this point. And I think everyone in the blogs, on the internet, I lived on Twitter last night reading all the comments about the show, are going to ride with her on this, because you guys have gone too far. You've gone too far. And it ends with Ashley going, oh, and I've heard he's been in other ladies' DMs too, and not so innocently. And that's kind of where it ends. I don't know what other, and Ashley Smile says she's lying. Whenever, again, her tell, whenever she's lying, she smiles. She can't help herself. And the fact that she finds enjoyment out of seeing someone else's pain, again, she's a special kind of evil. She and Gizelle are. They sat down and cooked this up together. The only thing that I hate is that this was one issue that Robyn was on the right side of. So I'm really sad that Robyn had thrown a whole Karen tantrum and left the table, and she was not there to witness this, and for Candace to have maybe someone else on her side in that moment, because I don't really feel like she had another ally at that table. I would say it would be Wendy, but Wendy seems to be trying to be all buddy-buddy with Ashley right now, so I don't think Wendy's going to ride with her right now. I think she needs a scholar. And again, this is one moment I think Robyn would have sided with Candace, or at least downplayed a lot of the shenanigans going on. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that has been this has been your review recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 episode 5 burn sessions. It was a fun episode. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let's keep the discussion going down below. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on the episode, and I cannot wait to see what happens next week and how Candace is going to give everyone the tongue lashing they deserve. Have a great night. Love and light, guys. Bye.